We at Time Shifters hope that you enjoyed this rare and infamous moment that combines a first-rate disaster with genuine historical significance. But now it's time to take a deep breath as we prepare to temporarily reset you. Get your cars to Mars.
Everyone, this is Christopher, and I'd like to welcome you to the Time Shifters podcast. On this show, Tom and I dive into movies and TV, mostly in the sci-fi, fantasy, and horror genres, and share our thoughts, give our reviews, and go on a few tangents or two. Let's get things kicked off. Tom, how have you been?
Oh, it's just crazy busy all the time. How are you doing?
I've been a little crazy busy myself.
You have, actually. Not even on my scale. You've got a whole other thing going on.
Yeah, everyone, if you've subscribed to the show, you've already heard my coverage of Horror Hound, which is the first time I got to go, finally got to go to a Horror Hound convention here in town. I've been trying to get to this thing for years, and typically there's always something that gets in the way. There's always I'm going to go, and then, it's your grandmother, she wants to have blah, blah, okay. Yeah, I can't say no to you can't say no to your 80-something-year-old grandma, so you got to go to that instead, sort of thing. And then it was like everything was clear. All right, I am going to go in 2020. And yeah, there was no 2020. And so finally, all these years later, I got my butt into the Horror Hound convention. And I had a really fun time. One of the first people I bumped into when I got there was a blast from the past, Michael Felsher. I interviewed him way back in like 2009 or something like that at the Denver Starfest.
Oh, nice.
He runs Red Shirt Pictures. He puts together a lot of the special features that you'll find on DVDs and Blu-ray releases.
Oh, cool.
So all the documentaries, the behind the scenes, he does the kind of collects and curates and everything, all that kind of stuff. And so I saw him walking. I'm like, are you Michael Felsher? He's like, does he owe you money? I'm like, no. It's like, yeah, the knob, Michael Felsher. But it was great. It was great talking to him again. And then the whole convention, it was a really nice convention.
Cool.
And I'm more and more sold on the Sharonville Convention Center as just a place to have conventions. I really like that venue.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because unfortunately, I won't be able to join you this year.
For Comic Expo, I know. I'm a little sad at that.
I am as well. I was all geared up for it. And then I looked at my calendar, and much like there were, when the thing with your grandma gets in the way, I have stuff with my son that weekend that I really can't skip. So
no, I understand. Family always has to come first. So I do understand. I'm very happy to say that former host Matt is going to step in and be my co-host for the day. So we'll go down and still cover it and have a good time. But yeah, Horror Hound was a few weeks, about a month ago now or so. And then again, if you've subscribers, you've listened to a very weighty episode where I got to go to the Cindependent Film Festival here in town. And that was so much damn fun. I'm still kind of coming down from that at the time of this recording.
Yeah, it's like there's what we do. You've interviewed people over the years and all that. We've interviewed people together. This was you, like, legit press.
Yeah.
Like, for real red carpet action kind of stuff. And that had to have been a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. I have interviewed, quite a few people over the years, but never, like, 24 of them, one after the other.
Not like that, not in a very, very public setting, because I know a lot of those interview kind of things, those all happen in a room off to the corner. You have throngs of people around you while you have to do this, and then on top of it, you're doing it in an environment where you don't have a lot of background on any of these folks.
I had nothing going in with any of these. These were all independent filmmakers. They were directors. They were writers. They were stars. Some of them were just fans that came through. I mean, the red carpet was open to anybody that wanted to walk up and partake. So who was attending the festival, and so it was just a slice of everyone, of everything, and yeah, it was an absolute blast. And yeah, I couldn't believe it. I went down not really knowing what to expect. Took my audio recorder with me, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you want to be on the red carpet? Just stand right here, and we'll just as they come by, we'll feed them to you." And Allison West, who's the founder of the Independent Film Festival, she was amazing, and I met her. She's one of the first people I talked to, and she talked to one of the volunteers there. She's like, "This is Christopher. He's with the podcast. You see anybody that seems like he'd be interesting? Send him over to him so he can talk to him." So I literally had someone helping feed people to me. So it was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and that's a thing neither of us have had, staff.
Yeah, and they're all there like, "Do you need anything? Do you want a water?" "Yes, please. Thank you." It was fantastic. And yes, so I've whipped that together. So there was a big, nearly 2-hour episode that dropped about a couple weeks prior to you hearing this. And there is well over probably 30 brief interviews with people within that episode. And I'm thrilled that I've already been invited back to next year's event. So yay me.
Needless to say, he's walking on a cloud right now.
I am a little bit. It was just an amazing experience. I had so much fun, and not just personally just because of the interviews or anything, but just because that was an amazing time. I mean, first of all, you and I both have enjoyed some of the independent films that we've reviewed here on the show. And we've both talked about being fans of like the short film. We've the anthology films, which are just short films strung together with some small narrative or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's what this is all about. Independent film. There was a handful of feature films that were shown in the afternoon, but then the entire evening it was like a 2-hour block of nothing but short films each night. And that was so much fun. Just the amount of talent, the very different styles that everyone does their films, the different subjects that they covered, and all there in one place, was just an amazing experience. And then this festival is so incredibly well run, and it's not just a place to come and show your film. It's a place to come and show your film. It's a place to come and talk with other filmmakers. It's a place to bring your screenplay, and they do screenplay readings. They select screenplays that they actually have actors read out the thing. So, gives a chance for the screenwriter to hear their play, their movie, read to them. And it's a little bit like a workshop, so they can go, okay, now they start understanding what needs to be kind of honed. What do they need to trim? What do they need to change? They do an entire day of where there's like a little bit of an expo where there's cameras and audio equipment and everything there to showcase, and people can play with and explore these different options and organizations that they can meet and talk to get props. How to get props in the film. Talk to just network. It was great. It was just a fantastic, incredible environment.
A film industry starter kit.
Very much. And it's just really neat to see. And so many of the filmmakers are local. So many of them are right here in Cincinnati, or they lived here in Cincinnati and they've gone off to other places. Maybe they're living in New York now or LA, but they've come back and to show their film here in Cincinnati. That was just really exciting to see so many people, to actually see the community of filmmakers that are here in our town, all in one place like that. And the fact that you're literally seeing hundreds. All like, we have this many. That's incredible.
I didn't even ask before. Where in town did they have this?
They had it down Memorial Hall and Over the Rhine.
Okay.
It's the theater right next to Music Hall.
Okay, cool.
So it's a historic theater. It's gorgeous.
Nice.
The building itself is one of those places where you just like to be in
Yeah.
because it's all wood, it's marble, it's giant vaulted ceilings and decorative wood trim and everything. So that alone is a big thrill just to be in this
The grandeur
200-year-old
of this place.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's awesome. It sounds like that was a fantastic opportunity. I'm glad you had a good time.
I did. I'm very happy. Like I said, I went down really not knowing what to expect and just came away gleeful.
It's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, that has taken up pretty much all of my time lately.
And that's fair. And I'm not even going to try to top any of that because I have nothing by comparison.
Right. Fair enough. Do we want to cut the top of the show short and go ahead and take a break here?
We can. There was no reason to not let you revel in the glory that you have enjoyed lately. So that can be the top of the show.
Then we will take a break. We'll listen to a pro for another podcast. And when we get back, we'll talk about 1996's Mars Attacks.
I'm Alan.
And I'm James.
And we're the hosts of your new favorite podcast, The Test of Time.
On our show, we talk about our favorite movies from the past, mostly from the 80s and 90s.
There's Forrest Gump, which I hate,
Weekend at Bernie's, which I hate,
and plenty of movies we both love but still love to talk about, like Risky Business, Swingers, E.T., Big, and more.
We talk about the movies and debate if they still hold up today.
In other words, do they stand the test of time?
So check us out. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, and all the usual podcast places.
Check out our website, testoftimepod.com, for a full list. And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Test of Time Pod. It's test of time to subscribe.
I can't believe you said that.
It's the test of time, James and Alan have to say, do the movies you love still hold up today?
Based on the Topps trading card series of the same name, with Tim Burton directing a screenplay by Jonathan Gems. A film starring just about everybody, including Jack Nicholson in a dual role, Glenn Close, Annette Bening, Pierce Brosnan, Danny DeVito, Martin Short, Sarah Jessica Parker, Michael J. Fox, Pam Grier, Rod Steiger, Tom Jones, Lucas Haas, Natalie Portman, Jim Brown, Lisa Marie, Jack Black, Paul Winfield, Joe Don Baker, and Sylvia Sidney in her final film role. The latter I had to look up because I'm like, who is she? She seems so familiar to me. And then I had to go and look and double check. And of course, she was the social worker in Beetlejuice.
Oh, yeah. No, I knew her right off the bat, and that's how Tim knew her.
In the film, the world is stunned to learn of a huge fleet of flying saucers are approaching Earth. The government, led by President Dale, decides to extend a hand of friendship to the aliens. Upon the first meeting, an apparent misunderstanding between an onlooker and his dove sends the Martians into a killing spree. Determined to try and bring the two planets together, Professor Kessler convinces the president to try to communicate with the Martian leader and attempt peaceful dialogue. The Martian leader agrees to another meeting and asks to address the U.S. Congress. At the meeting, the leader and his troops once again open fire on everyone, killing the entire congressional body. Oh, happy days. Now, obviously, a threat to the world, it is up to President Dale to come up with a plan to save the human race, while the human race does everything it can to survive on their own. Now, you and I both discussed that we watched this thing back when it first came out.
Yep.
Maybe in the theater.
I know I at least saw it in the theater.
You definitely saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I might have seen it in the theater, but it didn't connect with me. I remember not caring for it, so I never revisited it since.
Yeah.
Upon reviewing the film,
Yes.
my attitude has not changed.
Thanks, everyone. That was our show for the evening.
It just doesn't. This film just doesn't work for me.
I will not defend it. It is not a great film by any stretch of the imagination. My entire connection to this hinges on the Martian component of it. None of the story, none of the acting, none of the dialogue is actually compelling in any way. I just want to see it for the goofy Martians and the creative ways in which they off people with their various death rays that either turn your skeleton fluorescent pink or fluorescent green. I like some of the goofier stuff related to like when they're on the all-out attack and there's Boy Scouts visiting the Washington Monument and they shoot the base of that out, and when the Boy Scouts are running away from it, the saucer has to flip the monument the other way because they want to make sure they get ultimate damage. All of that stuff, all of the stuff that was associated with the bubblegum cards, and there was an eventual continuation as comic book series that I enjoyed, but all the rest of it could go away. The part that I thought was interesting this time around is how it fits with the political environment of today. There's no like one for one in this. It's just the overall incompetence of the humans in this, and it starts to just feel like, yeah, that's our day to day now. Like, what happened in this movie could have just been made now, and I go, yep, you do all of the stupid shit you just did.
See, I didn't even see that. I didn't really see the government being that inept. It wasn't.
They seem incapable from learning anything, though.
Well, that's possibly true. Yeah, after the but even after the first one, where the kid lets go of the dove, and so they suggest that maybe this was a cultural misunderstanding. It's like, all that actually kind of works, and okay, it's somebody actually sort of thinking some of this stuff through. That's okay. But the fact that was all preceded by one guy going, well, obviously they're space aliens and they have high technical advancements, they must be peaceful. I'm like, must they?
Yeah, no, it's the wild leaps. It's the making a conclusion with no data. There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But you can kind of sort of forgive their perception, I suppose, with the whole dove thing. But you have to go into it thinking, and this was the point of view I even had at the time, especially given the Topps cards and all that. The Martians knew what they were doing the minute they left their planet.
Yes.
Yeah, like everything the humans interpreted was always going to be wrong right out of the gate. And I think that's ultimately the joke. It's just Tim Burton's not good at telling a joke.
We definitely get the impression at the end that the Martians were always out to conquer Earth and destroy. This was their goal. But it isn't immediately apparent at the beginning. It easily could be a misunderstanding. That joke, that idea, I feel like runs a little too long.
Yeah, and that part is absolutely true. Yes, no. If you although even then the preamble to this entire thing, before we roll credits, before the Martians start making for Earth, we get a classic scene straight out of the cards, which is the flaming herd of cattle running by, and there are at least a few farmers and a family that are there witnessing the flaming cows running down the street, and they also see a saucer leave from behind the property. At no point did anyone put two and two together and have any conversation around, oh, they've already been here and done stuff. So you would have thought that might have gotten around a little bit more.
Yeah, you almost needed somebody, someone with a, like one of those crazy UFO shows. The aliens are among us, or I was kidnapped. One of those oddball. I
fell in love with a teenage Martian.
Right. You almost got the impression that Sarah Jessica Parker's character was going to be that, but you never saw that on screen.
No.
And yeah, it could have used that. There could have used something to give everybody the seed of doubt or something.
No, one of the great failings one of the great failings for the movie, which I fully give, everyone was supposed to be funny and no one was.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely Tim Burton trying to sort of tap into like the 1950s alien invasion type films, Earth versus the Flying Saucers, all the giant insects or creatures or whatever attacking. Pierce Brosnan was definitely, the 1950s scientist with the pipe and everything, but it fell so flat for me.
It did, yeah.
I just felt like everyone was told what they were supposed to be doing, but none of them really understood it.
No.
It's like, oh, okay, you want me to be a 1950s type scientist? Great. I've never actually seen a 1950s movie, but
well, and this is where, especially with the level of talent that was there, I have to put all of it at Tim Burton's feet. I don't know that he had a clear sense of what he was trying to accomplish with this film. I don't know if it was meant to spoof 1950s film. I don't know if he really thought this was a parody of them and that all of this was going to be funny. But he doesn't, again, this is the category of, I don't know if he knows how to tell the joke.
Yeah, I was looking at just like, if you go to IMDb and you look at all the little metadata, the tags and everything, there's only a few that I really consider as being correct. I see space sci-fi, okay, sci-fi, okay, alien invasion, okay, parody of what
specifically?
Yeah, satire? No, I'm not seeing it. Maybe that was an attempt, but I don't really didn't find it terribly satirical. And then comedy. I guess if there was comedic moments, I didn't find them funny.
No, the comedic moments you get were the same thing that you got off the bubblegum cards. The comedic moments are the moments like the three aliens getting their picture taken in front of the Taj Mahal the moment that it gets blown up. And that was the vacation picture they were going for. Those are cute, and they're fun in the moment, but they're not funny.
Yeah, okay. I know everything, comedy is subjective. We've talked about this before. This is something that is not unfamiliar to anybody. I was watching this movie with my wife, who she couldn't remember if she had seen it at all. I don't think she'd seen it before. And there was a few moments where I know she was chuckling, and she was doing it like chuckling, and then she'd look to look at me.
Yeah.
And I could see her looking at me, and I think she was looking to see if I was enjoying it.
If you thought it was funny too?
Yeah, and I had a very straight face through the entire film. It didn't strike me in any way. It's not a bad film. I don't sit there and think this is stupid, this is terrible.
Right.
I just don't find it fun.
No, and it's the kind of thing where I have this impression of how I feel about it, but even watching it, I'm like, this is not that good. I still like the parts that I like about it, but I'm like, but it doesn't all glue together into a tale that I need to watch on the regular.
Yeah, no, I can't see myself ever going back to this film again. I mean, I saw it when it came out because I was Mars Attacks. It's sci-fi. It looked funny. The trailer looked good. Fine, let's go see it. I'm watching it to review it on the show. Unless something comes up where someone says, "No, we want you to come and talk about this film," I'm never gonna bother dialing this thing up again.
And the one thing, and I suppose they looked okay back in 1996, but I was finding it harder this time around to watch the CGI that was in this, because it's almost all CGI. Mm-hmm. And as you're watching it, I guess it's even partly to blame for the level of technology available to us now. When I would have watched that in the theater, it would have been a much grainier look all the way around.
On film, yeah.
On film and all that. And even watching it again on like a VHS or even a DVD, it would have still been through whatever quality of TV that I had available at the time. So now having a at least when I bought it, the state-of-the-art 4K display and all that, and I'm like, it looks pretty, but you can definitely tell what's there and what's not.
Yeah. There was a handful of the actors that I think were playing it straight.
Yeah.
And if everyone played it straight, maybe it would have been fine. But then there was the other people like Jack Black, say, or that were goofing around. You know, Jack Black's big scene where, you know, he grabs the flag and I surrender, and he gets shot and he has to do this. He does he's goofing around. He's goofing off.
Yeah.
He's not taking this seriously. He's
early
taking
Jack Black.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh, the thinnest and youngest I've ever seen the guy. You know, he's playing it as a comedic part.
Yeah.
I really feel like the Martians themselves should have been the only thing funny about this film. Everyone else should have been taking this all deadly serious.
No, and it was weird where you did get the more serious folk. Like, actually, I thought Jim Brown was fairly impressive playing out his part as Byron.
The Pam Grier and her kids, Jim Brown is her ex-husband or estranged husband or whatever it was.
Pam Grier was amazing for what she had to do in the film. The kids I put more in that goofy camp because they were very much all about the video game aspect of it, and they were playing that up a little too much. I mean,
yeah, when the kids are on their own and being, you know, the Martian killers or whatever, it's something right out of a Saturday morning TV morning cartoon or something like that. But the drama between Pam Grier, her kids skipping school, what's going on with her estranged husband, and he's dressed up and he's in Vegas dressed up like King Tut and whatever.
He's being taken advantage of for his boxing career.
Right. That all kind of really does work.
Yeah.
The rest, I just don't know that it
so
does.
So many that were just forced into here for whatever reason, like Tom Jones. It didn't need to happen. It didn't add anything to it. Even the so-called payoff, which is you get the Disney-like ending there where Annette Bening comes out of the cave and birds are landing on her hands while Tom Jones steps out to pet the deer that have walked up to the cave that they have hidden in. and he starts belting out, it's not unusual. And I'm like, I think you think that's funny, but it's just not.
Yeah, I think definitely a tag that could be added to IMDb is absurdist, because that's
Yes.
exactly that's what this is. It's just there's so much where it's just absurd. I don't know why, because I've definitely watched films where that sort of stuff can happen, and I think it's hilarious. This movie, it just doesn't play out for me in a way that I can find any humor in it. It's more of eye rolls. It's not chuckles. It's just like, oh, geez.
Well, and you catch parts where you figure Tim Burton gave direction because there was something he liked in something he did in a previous movie, but it doesn't have any business being here. There were so many times where Jack Nicholson, since he got to play two roles, I feel like he was just giving the direction. Do you remember what you did in Batman? Can you do that? Some of the goofier things that he was having him do. Or did you see me make Michael Keaton do this in Beetlejuice? Do that. Like his Vegas guy seemed like a split between Joker and Beetlejuice as he played it.
Yeah, I can see it.
And it just like, why?
One line that I think in another film would have been hilarious with Jack Nicholson after Congress has been destroyed.
Yeah.
His line about, we need to let the American people know that they've got 2 out of the 3 branches of the government still working for them, and that ain't bad.
That line I did like, but yeah, it still didn't quite fit here. The other one I did like, which was Sylvia's line, was when she just bolt out laughing, pointing at the screen going, they blew up Congress! and she's the only one in the room just thoroughly amused by it, in that moment. And I'm like, well, that was cool. I like that.
And even the solution to everything is, it really felt like, well, I guess we've been here long enough.
Right.
We should probably end this.
Yeah, because the really bad music that is the solution to killing the Martians just seemed odd choice.
I really don't know what else to say about it. It just falls flat. The film falls flat to me.
That is a fair assessment. Like, if I could just cut out everything else and just watch the Martians do their thing, I'd be just happy with that.
Yeah, I know. I definitely can see your point. And I wasn't familiar. I guess I knew about them, but I was not a collector of the Topps cards. I never really saw them. You're telling me that there's scenes in the film that are taken directly from the cards. I wouldn't have known that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I had a small collection of them. I didn't have a complete collection, but I had a number of them. And the Flaming Herd is like one of the earliest cards. Plus that one robot body thing that they get into that makes appearances in the cards, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Vaporizing the dog, that's one of them.
Yeah,
so.
that all makes sense. But yeah, I definitely didn't have any connection to anything. Then maybe that makes a difference too.
Because some of it was a little nostalgia, even though I'm not old enough for when those things came out. Having the few that I did, I thought it was an interesting way to tell a story because you had to collect the cards, and if you read them in order, it did tell a story, and it was kind of cool. And the movie wasn't far off of essentially what they were trying to tell, but you had lots of the other stuff in there that weren't in the cards and didn't need to be there.
I guess what can be said is this is still the best movie made based on a Topps trading card series.
That's probably fair.
Yeah. All right. We did get some social media on this one.
I was kind of hoping so.
Well, I'll start short and then go long. Miriam Hurley says, still love this film. Ack, ack.
The ack stuff is part of what makes it fun for those that like that part.
You know, and that, honestly, if I could find anything funny, it's the ack, 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 and then don't run, we come in peace translations.
Yeah, them running around with that stupid translator that obviously didn't work. and they are just having too much fun with it at that point.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that's funny in the movie.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's buried so deep in just complete blah for me that I can't even really manage a chuckle at it.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Cameron Sullivan says that his uncle used to make that noise for my brother because he knew it would make him giggle. While I was like, you've sold me on this movie. And Barry Worst, good friend and film critic with the Maui Times, he chimes in over on our Time Shifters Facebook group. All caps, I love that movie so much.
Ha!
Says, I got to see a test screening of it in Denver a month before release. The audience went wild, and I laughed like a hyena for most of the running time. By the time my 4-star review of it was published in my college newspaper, the film bombed after one weekend and was loathed by nearly everyone I knew. I'm glad the cult following kicked in. Looking forward to your episode.
Or maybe not now.
No.
Because even the guy that likes the movie is agreeing that it's not great.
But yeah, that's all I got there. But thank you very much, everyone, for leaving your comments.
Yeah, and then on the professional side, these are a bit all over the map, but there's a theme. So
You don't have Barry Worst's college review, do you?
shockingly, no. He didn't pop up. I had plenty to choose from, though. So bear with me. I've got a few here to go through. Obviously, from Chicago Sun-Times, Roger Ebert, who gave it only a 2 out of 4 stars. He says, first he made Ed Wood, a tribute to the man fondly recalled as the worst movie director of all time. Now Tim Burton seems to have made a tribute to Wood's work. Mars Attacks has the look and feel of a schlocky 1950s science fiction movie. And if it's not as bad as a Wood film, that's not a plus. A movie like this should be a lot better or a lot worse. Mars Attacks plays like one of those 50s movies that are not remembered as a cult classic.
And maybe it's exactly where I fall, where I was saying I don't think it's a terrible film.
No.
I don't think it's a good film. It's a film.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't think he knew where he was going with this. I agree with everything he said, that I think there's a lot of inspiration from the 50s and the Ed Wood movies and all that stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
I know he's a huge fan of him. But this wasn't that or those. So,
Right.
then you get Dallas Observer, Peter Rayner. This guy liked it actually quite a bit. Says, part homage and part demolition job, Mars Attacks is perhaps the funniest piece of giddy schlock, heartlessness ever committed to film.
Easy for you to say.
Right. No, apparently not. Then San Francisco Chronicle, we have Peter Stack, a collection of Peters at the moment. This messy science fiction comedy blows most of its inspired moments because of its mean-spirited, deafening siege mentality, which turns rich promise into a tiresome parade of half-baked skits. Hilarity never seems so tedious. So, not a fan. Then I found over at Los Angeles Times, we have Kenneth Turan. Given that they're both involved with invasions of nasty aliens, Mars Attacks makes an interesting mirror image to Independence Day. While that unintentionally silly film replicated an earnest 1950s sensibility, Mars is all 90s cynicism and disbelief, mocking the conventions that Independence Day takes seriously. So I hadn't even really thought of it as I was rewatching it, that Independence Day is of the same time.
Yeah, watching it in context of the other films that came out around it.
Right. So yeah, they are mirror images of one another. Same content told from different perspectives, and whether you like Independence Day or not, it worked. It took hold of the viewers and didn't let go. And this patted you on the head nicely and said, "Thanks for coming."
This was the Asylum's B Team's version of Independence Day.
Ooh, that's a solid burn on Tim Burton. I got one more, and she kind of wraps it up nicely. Washington Post, Rita Kempley. Truth be told, the legendary Schlockmeister's Plan 9 from Outer Space is a better bad B movie than this sour and pointless parody. Mars Attacks, with its costly effects and pricey all-star cast, bespeaks sci-fi tongue-in-cheek, but it's stingy at heart. Burton, who collaborated with British screenwriter Jonathan Gems, brings nothing of Edward Scissorhands' magic or Beetlejuice's wacky fun to this sadly empty exercise. Aimlessly plotted and blandly written, Mars Attacks lacks a moral, a meaning, and worst of all, a clear-cut protagonist. So
I agree with, I think, everything there. That's why I'm not a professional critic, because I can't get my thoughts out as concise as they can.
Yes, no, in fact, that's almost the bulk of that whole review. The review itself is only 2 paragraphs. So she put it fairly succinct. She hits all the points, and it is kind of disappointing. Tim Burton is capable of capturing a lot of magic in the work that he does, and it was kind of disappointing that it didn't show here.
Yeah, no, he's capable of greatness. And
Yes.
This film, it just doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. That review summed it up. There's no moral. There's no point. There's no message. There's nothing. It's just let's flash images across the screen.
And Tim, I know you're a longtime listener, so if you're, when you're listening to this, we'd love to have a moment of your time to talk about your illustrious career and maybe your thoughts on where this might have gone awry.
Please, I would love to sit down and talk with Tim Burton about why his film didn't work.
Next time on Time Shifters podcast.
I go from red carpet at an independent film festival to berating Tim Burton.
Why not? It's good to have goals. So Tim, seriously, just give us a call. We'll happily set that up. We'll have our people call your people.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll get them on that.
Now that you got people.
Yeah, I'll get them right on that. All right, well, that will do it for Mars Attacks. We didn't discuss it before we started recording as far as what we're going to do next, but I think it's kind of appropriate based on what this film was homaging or mimicking or whatever you want to call it, that it be sandwiched in between 2 films from the 1950s.
Yes.
So I think we will go and check out 1952's Red Planet Mars, starring Peter Graves. So we'll be checking that out. So any thoughts on that film, or where do you sit on Mars Attacks? If you've listened to this and you didn't get a chance to comment on any of the social media posts or anything, or if you didn't follow us then, and if you're new listeners, if this is your first film, I hope you got you have some opinions, and we want to hear them. So send us an email to timeshifterspodcast@gmail.com.
And when you're sitting down with Tim later, convince him to come on the show.
Absolutely.
Now, if you've got a moment, please consider leaving a rating or review. It really helps more people discover the show, and who knows, they might become listeners too.
If you're feeling extra generous, please toss a little monetary support our way. You can follow the link in the show notes to Ko-fi.com and /TSPOE podcast, and every bit of that money will go towards web hosting and production costs. This show will always be free, but any help is truly appreciated.
Or if you'd rather just gather some cool stuff to support us, check out our merch at TeePublic or Dashery. Links are in the show notes and on our site. You'll be helping us out and supporting some awesome independent artists at the same time.
And I was really thrilled that we got our first Dashery sale. We've had several TeePublic sales, but we got our first Dashery, and the first thing that it was bought is a T-shirt of my dual logos with the Time Shifters Podcast and Orphan Entertainment logos stacked on top of one another. So nice. I thought that was very cool. So thank you if you're listening to whoever bought that.
Now we can afford people. Or maybe not.
That's going to do it for this episode. Thanks again, everyone. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
See ya.